We are pleased to provide you with PwC's state tax technical update for the first quarter of 2018. It should come as no surprise to you that in the last quarter things have been dominated by the state reactions to federal tax reform. But whoever would have guessed that the U.S. Supreme Court agreeing to accept a sales tax nexus case would be the second biggest development of the year. What has the potential to be the most significant state tax decision of the last 20 plus years, the Wayfair case, will be heard on April 17th with a decision expected shortly thereafter. The decision is likely to address an issue that has been haunting retailers for 25 years, the question of whether remote sellers without a physical presence in the state have to collect and remit tax. Our insight addresses the potential ramifications to the Wayfair case. One thing for sure, no matter what the court rules, it is likely to have a significant impact on all retailers and the consumers who purchase from them.
As Bryan mentioned, states have been very active in responding to federal tax reform. If there's a trend out there, it's really that it's very hard to predict how states are going to react, because thus far, over the last 3 months, states have varied wildly as far as how they address federal tax reform. For example, we've seen legislation in states, for example, that will simply conform to federal tax reform changes. We saw that in West Virginia. Other states will address the changes for the 2017 tax year and leave 2018 for a future time. We saw that in Virginia. Some states have even had time to act twice over the last 3 months. For example, Georgia chose certain provisions within federal tax reform that it wanted to follow and not follow. For example, one of which was that guilty income would not qualify for the state's dividend received deduction. However, just 3 weeks later, a new bill was enacted providing that the guilty income would qualify for the state's DRD. Another state, Idaho, much like Virginia, originally enacted a bill that addressed the changes for the 2017 tax year, leaving 2018 for a future time. That future time occurred within a month, and Idaho enacted a second bill that generally conformed to federal tax reform provisions for 2018 with some modifications. One of which was an add back for deductions taken under Section 250 and Section 965. So those are just a few of the examples of states that have acted over the last 3 months with regards to federal tax reform, and there are a lot of other proposals that are before state legislatures. So we are expecting that the second quarter will be just as active, if maybe not more so, than the first quarter. And we'll continue to monitor those developments as they occur.
So in the insight link to this video, you can read all about tax reform, the state tax reactions to it, and there are other state tax technical developments in the insight. Finally, you can find links to other resources such as our website dedicated to the state tax reactions to federal tax reform. With that, thank you.